it's very clear that with some of these mechanics, they're actually really paying attention to what people want in Battle Royale. Okay, so Call of Duty Modern Warfare VR called Warzone comes out tomorrow, and I'm so fucking stoked for this game, dude. I've seen the trailer a couple times, but like, I don't know. I wanted to take a second to talk about like, I think that this game, honestly, like I know a lot of people aren't always like super stoked on new Call of Duty content. I know it's cool to be down on it or to hate it after a few weeks, but like, I think this BR could be one of the better BRs around, and more specifically, I think this BR has a good chance of surpassing Blackout. Now, I mean, I know a lot of people have like mixed opinions about Blackout too, so some people love it, some people hate it, to each their own, but I think this is more than likely gonna come out better than Blackout was. Like, first of all, it's free to play, which means the player base right off the bat is going to be stronger. But like getting into some of the mechanics of the game, some of the things that have been announced, or you know, some of the details that have come up that I've seen on Twitter and articles, like first of all, you spawn with a gun, you spawn with a pistol. That's something people have been asking for in Battle Royale for a long time. Like, that's very important. Like, people always talk about the idea of spawning with like weapons or armor and things. I think a pistol is a great starter weapon. I think it's a great way to launch into the match without armor, but a pistol definitely changes things up, something that you don't see a ton in battle royales, especially the popular ones. The other thing that I'm really excited about is the armor system. One of the complaints that people had about Blackout was armor. Armor pretty much ruined the game for a lot of people, especially for me. I mean, the game wasn't ruined for me. I really enjoyed it, but like, it was really frustrating, the armor mechanics and the inconsistencies of it, and just the strength of armor alone. So like in this one, you get, I believe, 3 pieces of armor that can go on at a time. I think you can hold up to 5 pieces, but you have to like replace your armor. But aside from that, the health system is really cool in that it's auto regeneration, just like in the normal multiplayer modes. You will be able to use like a stim pack that'll heal you faster, because it will take a minute for yourself to auto heal. But the armor system being that like if your armor just breaks, you have to replace it, and that's like an actual action, just like, you know, putting on a med kit or whatnot. But like once it breaks, you have to find more armor, as far as I can tell, which I think is a really cool mechanic. And I think it balances the way that armor works in a battle royale, and specifically comparatively to the way that it worked in Blackout. So I really like what they're working on there. It's clear. I guess I really like it because it's very clear that with some of these mechanics, they're actually really paying attention to what people want in Battle Royale and what people didn't like about Blackout. Like, it doesn't seem like they're, I mean, it may be a cash grab, but it seems like they're really trying to work on the Battle Royale genre, not just spit out a Battle Royale because that's what's in season. So I really like the auto health regeneration, spawning with a pistol, armor system. All 3 of those things I think are fucking awesome. But one of the newest mechanics that's like totally out of the blue, which if you may have heard of already, is the gulag death system. In that, like, when you die, you get taken to this gulag where you have to watch these cage matches between like 2 players that have already died, and whoever wins that cage match is sort of like a 2v2 gunfight setup where you're just like, you have a gun or 2, not exactly sure all the details on it, but if you beat that opponent, you get dropped back into the map, which means you're constantly recycling up until like just about the last bit. I don't know the exact mechanic or how it's going to work, but like essentially the idea is that, from what I can tell, you're going to constantly be recycling players, especially in these squad games. You're going to be recycling players, which means more players are going to be alive as the map shrinks and the zone gets smaller, which means more aggression, more chaos, more fast-paced gameplay, which I know not everyone is all for this, but I personally love it in a battle royale. So I think that's awesome. It's also just a fresh take. I mean, the idea, I know I have friends that I play battle royales with that would love it if they could get back into a game via like going in a 1v1 cage match against another downed player. So I think that's awesome. The new cash system, I don't know if a ton of details have been announced about it, but just the idea of cash and being able to buy things like loadouts or care packages or score streaks. I know there's only like 1 or 2 score streaks, I believe, but just the whole idea of it, it's something fresh to a battle royale. And then, like, honestly, the last thing being, there's going to be contracts and bounties. Things like bounties on certain players, going to certain places on the map and taking flags, things like that. Like, if implemented correctly, I think that could really spice up the genre, because I think we all appreciate the things that people are working on. in battle royales where like in Fortnite and Apex and probably multiple other battle royales. I just haven't played many other than that lately. The whole battle pass system where you go to places on the map and get a certain amount of kills or do certain quests and objectives. But I feel like this iteration of these objectives that they're doing, called contracts and bounties, kind of moves the needle forward. I think it's a fresh spin on what we've been wanting. So like, I'm really excited for it. All of these things are things that Blackout did not have, and all of them are things that move the battle royale genre forward. Now, the game still has to be fun. In the end, if the game's not fun, people aren't going to play it. If the player base falls off, people aren't going to play it. You know, when you're the only person and games take a long time to find, like, you're not going to play the game. But if you can maintain the hype around the game, I think it has the chance to at least contest. I'm not saying it'll be the biggest battle royale in the world or even the number 2 spot, but I think it has a chance to contest games like Apex, which are really struggling, and games like Fortnite even, which are really struggling. Fortnite's still massive, but like, that doesn't mean that it hasn't fallen off a lot. That doesn't mean that people aren't incontent with the way that Fortnite is. So when you're bringing in a new battle royale game into the market such as this, you have a real chance to, if you don't fuck things up, you have a chance to really come in and sweep these players that are like displaced and frustrated about a game off their feet. And, you know, Call of Duty always has a stigma around it, you know, just because of like it's played out, and, you know, there's a lot of toxicity in the scene about the games and people are constantly complaining. But like, if we can avoid that with this game for a while and the hype can be maintained around it, and if they actually execute these mechanics right, and if the game is fun for everyone, I think it really does have a chance to steal some players, because battle royale players jump from BR to BR. I think this game can steal some players. It's definitely stealing me, at least right off the bat. I want to play this game. I want it to be fun. I want it to be my number 1 game until at least Valorant comes out. And that's coming from me as someone who's been playing Apex for like, God, just about pretty much since it released. And I still love Apex, but there are things that we're unsatisfied with, and everyone just wants something new. There's nothing better than the shiny new toy. So I'm really hoping for the best with this. I think 100% this BR has a big chance, but I also firmly believe that it's going to be better than Blackout was. So, but comes out tomorrow, 12 p.m. for those of us who actually own the game already, and I'm fucking stoked. So I'll be streaming it. I'll be trying to make content for it. So yeah, and if you enjoy this video, just leave a like and subscribe and come back for more Modern Warfare Warzone content. And yeah, those are my thoughts.